Yeah. To this next beautiful new technology, Matt, can you bring us into the NFT world? I don't know if I just expect you to understand this more than me.
I think your problem is you expect there to be something more there than
I just feel like there has to be something more going on here that I'm missing.
No, like this is like, remember when Facebook like app games got really popular and that was good money? This is just that, but outside of the internet. Or outside of Facebook, where you can buy a tiger or Pogs, Beanie Babies, tulips, pretty much everything people say that this is just what that is.
Okay.
A non-fungible token, means you have, I guess, the rights to some kind of image that's stored on a server somewhere, and for some reason, people think that this is like imbues their soul with this artwork. Which is very sad, and we talk about the devoid, the search for meaning in modern times. You're not breaking the aura of an artwork by creating an NFT that points to it. And so this is a guy who, so NFTs, like these images you'll see, like there's these lazy lions, which is the one you'll see here, but there's different kinds. There's like a CryptoPunks one, there's like a ape one, a sloth one. And basically, it's just different, slight variations to these characters that you can buy and kind of use as profile pictures mainly. It seems to be the main use for it so far. And so the thing is like everybody knows you can right-click an image and save it, and that's obviously the first observation you can make. Even if you couldn't right-click it, you could do a screenshot of this image, because if the image is being served to you on your computer, it means that you can copy that image and do whatever you want with it. As being, and like the funny thing to me is like, I think the more advanced NFT people were like, that's not what it is. This is about exclusive rights to this certain thing that you can transfer over to people, whatever, right? But it is causing a kind of existential break for a lot of these folks, because actually one of the things you would want to, if you have ownership over an image, is to stop people from reproducing it, particularly into the replies to you saying you spent like thousands of dollars for it, and say, well, I just spent $0 for it and I can do it here, right? Like that is actually ownership, but these people have been sold a nebulous form of ownership that they think is more ownery, more legitimate, because it takes a lot of resources to crunch and there's math involved. That's all there is to it, basically. So anyway, I say all that to say, this guy, David and I aren't certain if this is a bit or not. If it's a joke, he's very, very committed.
I think it has been committed for months.
I think this is an NFT guy.
Because this is a beautiful piece of media. The reason that this is I actually want to play two videos, but this is the first one. We played this, I think, earlier in the show today. We'll just play this real quick. But just note, he is reading a quote from Crypto Bros Taking L's, right? Which is why we are wondering whether or not it's a bit. But then the next tweet from him is, if you're interested in learning about NFTs and want more helpful content, start here. And it's a bunch of different ways that you can sort of get into the NFT market. So I do not know.
Can I just say, like, imagining a gold rush, I wouldn't be saying, hey, this is how you can come get gold in this hill too. There's too much gold for me to get. I want more people to come get gold with me. Like,
that should be the number one red flag between, from NFTs to crypto. Right. This is good though. Let's put this on for everybody.
Yeah.
You think it's funny to take screenshots of people's NFTs, huh? Property theft is a joke to you. I'll have you know that the blockchain doesn't lie. I own it. Even if you save it, it's my property. You are mad that you don't own the art that I own. Delete that screenshot.
I mean, that's T.S. Eliot right there. That's the modern T.S. Eliot. Great poetry. I almost want to, I have like a poetry scanning app that we could put in, but yeah, beautiful work there. Oh, you're still muted.
This is the best. This is my personal favorite. out of all the videos that I've seen so far from our friend here.
Right. This is, I think this is also a good overview of the lazy lions concept.
Yeah, actually, it really is. I mean, God, look at this. How much would you spend on all that, Matt?
I mean,
What they're buying. Wait. Oh, by the way, like, we'll come right back to this in a second. I just want to like inform people who aren't unfortunate enough to know any information about this bizarre world. They're having troubles right now with there being a kind of glut and people willing to spend the amount of money that the early adopters were. So there's a lot of freak out within that community that, like, I don't know, people aren't willing to spend the same amount of money that they were up top, because I think you have a longer thread, don't you, Matt, that we'll get into in a moment. But, you know, some of these guys who were first getting their NFTs right clicked, or more seriously, their tokens misplaced, we're essentially working with the sellers to fix prices on the stolen art. I don't even want to legitimate it by saying the stolen stuff, but basically some guys had their tokens hacked, and then they wanted it back, and then they were afraid that they were going to be resold on other websites. And basically these websites, which are supposed to be completely neutral, nobody's setting prices, you know, decentralized, all that kind of blah, blah, blah nonsense that these guys get fixated on. Those platforms themselves were actually fixing the prices on the NFTs so that those guys could buy them back again, which is amazing to spend money twice on something like this.
And like that, and I have this link here in the chat there. But this guy, his name is Calvin Becerra, CalvinBecerra.
Oh, this is it. Sorry.
Yeah. So this first tweet is the most important one, I think, that he says, because he says, not change, and I'm still not changing my PFP, which means personal profile picture, still my ape. So he's literally doing what everybody else is doing in saying, because the code is law, right? All this stuff about smart contracts and like, ooh, you like basically just marketing to the fundamentalist brain that you can remove humans from this equation and you can have just like code that's so great that you'll never have a dispute over this stuff. Actually, no. Actually, humans run all this shit, and it'll take, and so like he gets scammed out of his tokens, and then so he legally doesn't own, or per the blockchain doesn't own it anymore, right? The blockchain says he's not the owner, and he writes, and I'm keeping my and I'm not changing my personal profile pic, still my ape, right? So that's interesting there. And it's a little bit small, but like he ultimately gets his apes back somehow by running to the marketplaces and saying, this is bad, don't trust what the blockchain says there, we need to like blacklist these apes, right? So again, involving all this stuff that we're told is made obsolete by the amazing trust inherent to a blockchain system. And I would just ask, like, this ultimately worked out for him, and I'm suspicious if this wasn't some sort of marketing stunt to like make these apes, right? I'm
make
I'm
people
very
feel like
cynical.
they're valuable enough to be stolen.
Exactly, right. I'm still skeptical about all this, but like. That is, I mean, I think that makes a point, right?
It gets dark really quick. They don't even live up to their own principles is basically the story. And I mean, it's a hilarious bubble, and the guys within it are sort of wild. It's
sad. The most rational or the most like sympathetic to, or like, if I was in those positions, I'd want to be lying, because if these folks believe this stuff, it's super sad, man. And they've sold themselves about like what value means. And I see people saying like, I saw like a type of cope, which is like, actually, the more people that right click this, the more valuable it is because it's getting more popular. It's like, how valuable you think that's going to be? If you become the most right clicked NFT, what are you going to turn that into? Like, I mean, maybe you can get some dumb. I'm also skeptical of these like $1 million NFT purchases as like a way to move money around. That's not.
I mean, the big ones at the get go were all were all basically in-house transactions.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, it's a bizarre concept to sort of pump and get rich quick. I think that this, again, regardless of, I can't tell for the life of me if this is legit or not. But I think this does sort of show the ideology very well. This right here.
Yeah, here we go.
So I'm always fake flexing, huh? I just got one question for all my haters at home. Where am I? And where are you? I'm on OpenSea shopping for a lazy lion with a $600 lazy hat, $500 lederhosen, $200 party hat. And don't let me remind you about my 14 lazy lions. Where am I? And where are you? So I'm always fake flexing, huh?
My $500 lederhosen, man.
It's just crazy because that imagery takes they algorithmically create this. It's like line with this hat, and it's just like you know those things where you used to be able to like turn the torso and the head and the legs and create different like people. I don't know if I'm no. It's like I feel like he lives on playgrounds or whatever. But like that's all this is. It's like, oh, now he's in a cowboy hat with a Hawaiian lei on, and like I guess that one, maybe that's the one that's going to be $500,000.
It's just like deviant art having like a big moment again in 2021.
But it's like no, like honestly, it's like there's less effort to that. Like none of these. Every single one of these has been like algorithmically created. It's not even like there's not even like an artist getting famous from creating these things, right? Because it's all just shit. Like if there was like some guy who's like, I would love it if there was some guy who's like a great painter, and the only way like that was acceptable, like that like is conceivable like way to sell this to me on its terms that like the promoters sell it. But no one even approaches that. It's just the most basic, easy to like churn out bullshit every time. And I don't know. It's bizarre how much fucking attention it gets on social media. And Jack Dorsey, like, I mean, it's not a surprise, I guess. Like Jack Dorsey and Matt Damon and fucking Terry Crews, they're all selling you this shit. It really is. I mean, it's a crisis of.
When Matt Damon is selling you the revolution, you need to run the other way.
Oh my god,
that's sort of it.
I feel like I'm spiraling. But how did it all end up to fucking crypto? I remember when Matt Damon used to be like narrating Planet Earth and being like, "This is the polar bears, we gotta save them," and now it's like to the moon. Like Jesus.
Oh Lord. Well, you can catch me on C-Space buying some $500 lederhosen and $600 lazy lion cap.
I mean, a lazy lion and a Timberwolves cap would be pretty sick.
I just love the word lazy lion. I just think that's the best fit. It's just like saying it. Like I love to say lazy lion.
Yeah. You know what's funny? The one thing that like where my ears did pick up with NFTs early on was with the trading card aspect of it. Like I didn't do it ultimately, but like that sort of thing like makes sense to me. If like the John Morant NFT was like $1 million, I'd be like, at least this scans with like what trading cards were doing in the 90s, right? But it's this basic pixel shit that should be an insult. Like it's almost like they're laughing at the idiots that are buying it. Honestly, that think this is like oh, I got my profile pic for the next 30 years. No one. You think you're gonna like what the fuck are you talking about? We're probably gonna be done with profile. It's the metaverse, baby. Who needs a fucking profile pic? But yeah.
Are the NFTs are they blockchain too?
The NFTs are used
so are
to blockchain.
They wasteful? Like
exactly. Yes. That's the whole.
Is there mining? I mean, how do they do the proof of work? Oh god, I don't want to.
Well, I mean, yeah, exactly. Like the NFT is like it's like this the same way you own a. Well, I'm probably gonna get this wrong, but it uses the same blockchain proof of work to like
so
prove
is it environmentally damaging too?
Yes.
I love it, dude. Let's Burn the world so that you could get so fucking lederhosen on your lazy line. I love it, man. That's so much better. I mean, like, you thought that fast fashion was bad. You thought all that other, Nikes being made in sweatshops was bad. Just burning the goddamn
Spectacle.
world so that you can have a line with its tongue out with a dollar sign on it. It's so
Just like a
fucking
gasoline
awesome.
spectacle machine, and it's not even like it's giving you something good to look at. It's just a fucking lion with
So you can look at that.
so you can look at it. What are you
So
doing?
wild.
So you can look at it so you can look at it and tell people you have it. And it's like I saw something. It's like a $1.8 million transaction for a CryptoPunk NFT, and somebody replied to it, "Congratulations!" Exclamation point to both parties! Exclamation point, which is just the funniest thing to have to say because, like, yeah, congratulations to the person who just made $1.8 million if this was a genuine transaction, asterisk. But then, like, you'd only ever congratulate the next person when they sold it for a equal or greater amount of money, right? At no point are you going to be like, "Oh, I'm glad I have this fucking thing." Like, I forgot what that thing looks like. I remember the $1.8 million. Like, no one knows what that's going to look like besides that motherfucker who bought it. And like that, it is bizarre, man. This world.
I love it, man. Well, thanks everybody. This was worth it. The world might have burned, but I got my boy in his pimp hat, his badass knife. I don't need. This might even be a fake. I think it's a fake NFT.
But well, yeah, you have to do the calculation. You have to burn a quarter of the rainforest.
That's what we should get into, man. I mean, let's get on this. Fuck doing
NFT appraisal.
Let's just be an NFT appraisers. If you look really closely here, I don't know how to work a Windows computer to zoom in, but it's like, listen, you see that grainy image, that means that it's a fake NFT. We're seeing a lot more of these Bored Apes these days. All these cheaters.
The NFTs roadshow.
Who would make a fake? Who would do that? Who would, abuse the system by creating a fake Bored Ape? Just disgusting.